Incoterms 2020. Incoterms 2020. International commercial terms are international rules that define the responsibilities of sellers and buyers in commercial transactions. They are commonly used in international goods transport, helping to determine who bears the costs, risks, and responsibilities for delivering goods. Incoterms are established by the International Chamber of Commerce, ICC, and are regularly updated to reflect changing trade conditions. EXW works. The seller makes the goods available at their premises, factory, warehouse, or another named place, not loaded on any transport. The buyer takes on almost all responsibilities, including transportation, export, and import formalities. FCA, free carrier. The seller delivers the goods to a carrier or another party nominated by the buyer in named place. The seller clears the goods for export. From that point on, the buyer takes on the risk and cost. FAS, free alongside ship. The seller delivers the goods alongside the vessel, for example on a quay or barge at the named port of shipment. From that point, the buyer takes on all risks and costs. FOB, free on board. The seller delivers the goods on board the vessel nominated by the buyer at the named port of shipment. Once the goods are on the ship, the risk transfers to the buyer. CFR, cost and freight. The seller delivers the goods on board the vessel and pays for the cost of transport to the named port of destination. However, the risk transfers to the buyer once the goods are on board the ship, not at the destination. CIF, cost, insurance and freight. The seller delivers the goods on board the ship, pays for transport to the destination port, and also provides insurance for the buyer. However, risk transfers to the buyer as soon as the goods are on the vessel at the port of shipment, not at the destination. CPT, carriage paid to. The seller delivers the goods to a carrier, arranges and pays for the transport to the named destination. However, the risk transfers to the buyer once the goods are handed over to the first carrier, not at the destination. CIP, carriage and insurance paid to. The seller delivers the goods to the carrier, arranges and pays for the transport to the named destination, and provides insurance for the buyer. However, the risk transfers to the buyer once the goods are handed over to the first carrier, not at the destination. DAP, delivered at place. The seller delivers the goods to a specified place in the destination country, ready for unloading. The seller assumes all risks and costs until the goods are made available to the buyer at that location. Import customs clearance and any associated duties are the responsibility of the buyer. DPU, delivered at place, unloaded. The seller is responsible for delivering the goods to a named destination in the buyer's country and unloading them there. The seller assumes all risks and costs associated with transporting the goods and unloading them at the destination. Import customs clearance and import duties are the responsibility of the buyer. DDP, delivered duty paid. The seller takes on maximum responsibility. The seller delivers the goods to the buyer's premises or another named destination in the buyer's country, unloaded and ready for import. The seller assumes all risks, costs, and responsibilities, including import duties and customs clearance. The graphic shows a simplified overview of the Incoterms 2020 rules. Each bar indicates who bears the costs at each stage of delivery. the seller or the buyer. The black segments represent the seller's costs, while the red segments indicate the buyer's costs. From left to right, the stages of transport are presented, starting from the seller's premises through the export warehouse, the port of departure, sea freight, the port of arrival, and finally, delivery to the buyer. With EXW, X-Works, almost the entire responsibility lies with the buyer. FOB and CIF are options where the seller is responsible up to the point of loading or even for sea transport. On the other hand, with DDP, the seller takes on nearly the entire process, up to the designated place of delivery. This simple comparison helps to understand how responsibilities and costs are divided between the parties, depending on the chosen Incoterm rule. Want to scale your e-commerce business effortlessly? Fulfillment-Polska.pl takes care of storage, packing, shipping, and returns management, so you can focus on growth. Fast and reliable order fulfillment, efficient warehouse solutions, seamless integration with marketplaces. You focus on selling, we handle the rest. For more information, visit our website.